Ladies and gentlemen, Joshy D.
Yo, Larry, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm a little, sunburnt from the
Ladies and
from the
gentlemen,
weekend.
Joshy D.
Oh, is that me? Yo, Larry. Hold on.
Uh, that
How are
might
you?
be you.
Oh, I got it. There we go.
Okay.
Hella smart. This is 2017, baby. We know how to use voice chat.
Two guys who were schooled in radio.
Oh, yeah. Well, the one thing I've learned in radio is that like everything is going to go wrong on the fly, and you just have to be good at covering it. Just you got to learn to patter when your co-host like spills a drink on themselves is having trouble, or when the guest shows up and starts disrobing for no reason. But
Uh,
that's another story.
I learned not to degauss my cart near other carts.
Mm. Dude,
That's
so we've reached the end of an amazing tournament, haven't we?
yeah. This is the second season finale, the champion shit match, followed by the real match, the ultimate loser match.
That's the one everyone tunes in for because like you can watch someone play this game great anytime. Like that's really not difficult to find.
Right.
To see two people in a race who don't look like they're qualified to be racing, like that's what you tune in for. You want to see a shit show. Is it okay to say that? I mean, in a non-tournament context, or is
Well,
that?
no, I think you're referring to the tournament's acronym and
Yes,
not the
yes.
actual
You want to
physical
see
act
an
of dig shaking.
SHIT show.
Yeah. And not dig shaking, I think is how you mean it. Yeah.
That
That's fine.
that's exactly it. Oh, so what are the records of these two gentlemen going in? Link 7777, hereafter known as Link Sevens, and BuzzThunder.
I believe both are 4-0.
God damn! And we didn't have anything like that in the first season, did we? Like, didn't everyone have a loss?
Coach was 4-0. Link was 4-0, I believe.
Oh, really?
I believe
Oh man.
so. I'm not entirely too sure because I'm trying to remember the brackets. I know that Link surprised upset Buzz Thunder, and it was only really a surprise because of the amount of talking that was being done. I believe
On
they were.
Buzz's
Coach
part.
just confirmed they were both undefeated. Yeah, so
Oh my God. Okay. So we're no strangers to the best players making their way to the top.
well, yeah. I mean, you can't. It's not like the NHL or NBA where like you get like an 8 seed and make the Stanley Cup final or something. I'm sorry. I'll keep the references non-sports for you. It's not like
Please, if you could.
yeah. It's not like bowling. If you have a 120 average, you're winning high average in the league for some reason at the end of the year. You have to earn it.
Well, we should be able to do a draft in that case. Like I should be able to call Link in to play one of my matches to get me on the board and make it like make the brackets more competitive.
Well, I mean, we're keeping with the TV theme. We can always do the phone a friend or whatever.
That would be sick.
Yeah, like
That'd be
one
so dope.
maybe when we get bigger and we lose our way, like we lose our
Uh-huh.
roots, we can start incorporating all this stuff.
There could even be like reverse drafting. Like if that happens, then I have to play like one of Link's matches, or you could make your opponent if they're too strong. You could call me or BGT in to stink up their race for them.
Have yes, you get one card. You can have someone play for you, or you can have somebody play for your opponent,
Yes,
and
that's sick.
one per year, or one per
Uh-huh.
like half. So it could be in any of the tournaments we do.
Oh, that's so good.
Let me start the room for these idiots.
See, but I wouldn't have done it this time because I've felt pretty confident going into every one of my races. Like I feel like I've been performing above my usual standards. It's just that everyone else is really good at this game too, or the game's just super easy. I don't know what it is. I've been surprised at my losses, honestly.
Well, I
But
mean,
that's talk for later on. Like we're still in the winners bracket. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the
well,
losers
I mean,
bracket.
this is going to be technically the pre-show for both of them because we're probably going to roll right from one to the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, if you want to talk about your match later on, go right ahead.
Yeah, well, okay. So Wacky Races, if people don't know and they should know by now, is it's a fairly simple platforming game with a Gradius style kind of power up scheme with the bones. Like really, it's a game that kind of lives and dies on boss fight optimization and like really small optimizations going through the levels. It's not a game like roller games from last tournament where it seemed like there was like a few like really difficult trouble spots where people could just spend 10 minutes on, like, if they just continually die. So I think that like we have a much higher like overall the spread I think is a bit closer on the times. Like everyone's pretty confident at it, but like the people who really optimize games are proving to do very well. And I think that some of us who just feel like we're doing good are getting a little complacent and just like, oh no, I'm finishing the game in a good time, and like they don't know that, like, well, no, like anyone could get a 20 in this or whatever it is. Like you got to really bust ass to get lower. What is our best time in the tournament?
I think Link and Buzz have somewhere in the high 20s minute mark.
Oh, okay,
20, 50, 20, 30, something like that.
I only get my times on race matches. I think I've been around like 26, 28 a lot of mine. So yeah, I guess when I said 20, like that's where you get when you optimize. But
yeah,
I've been feeling.
The thing with this race is when you guys first started playing it, because I wasn't able to do it without the room spinning at the start. But when you guys first started playing it, it's really simple. You found out it wasn't, hard to not die, to not game over. A couple deaths here and there, but you're still completing it in under a half an hour and stuff. But you're seeing as the tournament progresses with the winners and stuff, they're finding ways to limit lag, to optimize jumps, and just to always keep moving as fast as possible. And that's sounds stupid because that's how you speed run. But sometimes you just can't do it because you have to kill this enemy, then you can move a little bit faster. You got to make this jump because it's just quicker to go that distance than it is to jump over the platform and then under the next one and stuff like that. And even timing with enemies, piranha plants or what have you, to get them, to manipulate them to do what you want, because they jump when you jump, they jump to the side when you throw a bomb. It's just, you got to learn these things as you go. Throwing bombs off screen when the enemy's off screen, so when you scroll the screen and they come on screen, it hits them. These are the things the better players are doing, and that came with just a lot of practice and I guess studying, and people like us who are commentating the rest of these matches in the winners bracket are just like, well, we played the game,
Yeah,
and we did well. But
yeah, we're just thinking about getting through the game without dying, but in actuality, this game is non-stop tech to keep going fast, to like not stopping to just slightly jump over an enemy. Like that enemy should have been dead already, because one, it'll reduce lag, and two, you don't have to stop to jump.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy that there's really no let up on optimization in this. Every single enemy and every screen has time that can be saved on it, and that's really what you're going to see from BuzzThunder and Link, and we'll try to call it out when we see it. But I think that people who haven't played this game a whole lot, they're not even going to realize just how much stuff that they're doing to really squeeze every second out of this game.
Boss fights as well, and pull up the multi-twitch because they're about to start.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, good.
Oh, I got to refresh Buzz because he's not even showing us.
Yeah, they've been given the go-ahead. And boss fights as well is something we haven't brought up. Each boss fight brings in a different, like, they're easy, but you can get off pattern, and we'll talk about them as soon as we see them. So let me pull up some.
Yeah, it's one of the places in a race, like if it's close and someone gets one more cycle or just has one inefficient boss fight, they'll lose 10 seconds, which is that's like a quarter of a stage sometimes. Like you'll really see a tight race start to have a huge gap when they do that. Okay, so our guys are off.
Watch what Buzz does here. Buzz starts killing enemies with the bark and doesn't take the bomb or the power-up first. Link does the same thing. He doesn't take the power-up, but he's not killing the enemies as he goes.
Oh, what happened? He's already like lagging behind because he had a bad jump there. That's really not like Link.
No, it's not. And I was watching him practice, and he was practicing certain areas, and I don't know if he was trying different things to see how he can do some of the areas better. But he was missing a lot of stuff, not making the correct jumps in other areas, going back for a bone. So I don't know if he was, like I said, trying new stuff or just absolutely messing up. But look at this lead Buzz has already.
Yeah, Link's taking damage all over the place. I am honestly shocked because he's really one of the best players in the whole tournament and has been just smoking this game. So hopefully he's going to shake that off a little bit. So I guess we should mention like the bones in this game that they're collecting. If you see at the bottom of the screen, the players have four icons, and it cycles through which one is highlighted, and that's what you're available to buy at any one time. And once you reach the end, it cycles back to the beginning. So it's kind of like Gradius there. So Buzz just collected a bone on his boss fight, which brings him to the heart and lets him get a health up if he wants to take it. You can refill your health with it and get an extra heart container up to a maximum of 6. So sometimes people want to optimize the games that they enter a boss fight with either the heart icon already highlighted or one away from it because there's a bone in every boss, and that way they can take a health refill during the boss.
And Link just died, actually. He missed a couple bombs and then died to this boss, so he's going to lose even more time here on the first stage while Buzz is over on A2.
Oh, sorry. Luckily you get to restart the boss fight right there, so it's not a huge loss of time, but like in a race like this where you got 2 guys at the top of the game, I fear that might be a real difference maker.
And let me say this, Link did not do this in his race against me, because he posted a time of 20 minutes.
In any race. This is actually shocking to me to watch this, because I've got money riding on this guy, and he's just sending me to the shit house.
I mean, there's very few people whose names don't start with AA that are rooting for Buzz, I believe, in this match. And Link is currently, right now, letting every single one of them down. But we are, we still have plenty of levels left to go. Coach Crab wants to know what Buzz's PB is, and I don't know that answer because he doesn't practice on screen, and he doesn't show his PB in the splits. He shows averages.
If people don't know, you might see our character Muttley is the dog that we're playing with in this game. When he hovers, that's done by just mashing the jump button when you're in the air, which allows you to hover. That's a very important movement technique in this game to be able to clear large gaps and avoid enemies, and that's what you get when you select the feather, or sorry, the wing icon on the bottom of the screen there. So you can see like Link right now is just gliding over everything, and I'm hoping that we're synced up. I'm not calling something that happened a minute ago, but that's how he's doing that. And that's also what allows you to swim fast in the swimming stages, which I didn't actually know until Angry Larry pointed it out.
Actually, Coach Crab was the one that pointed it out to us because he was trying to do it, and he wasn't able to do it. And Buzz is like, just hold A, and Coach is like, I am holding A, and then he found out that he needed the wings to do it. But you see Buzz on the Army Surplus Special there have no problem. Link 7s as well. You just, you stand in front of him, sink a little bit, you can avoid some of his bombs, reset yourself on the second phase, and then just do the same. If you have enough health, you can just tank the hits.
I don't find that. Sorry. I don't find that this is a very challenging boss. Like, you can kind of just like mash, swim, or whatever to jump out of the quicksand and just keep throwing bombs.
Yeah, the only thing is sometimes you can get stuck with him right on top of you.
That sucks if you start taking tons of damage.
Yeah, low health and stuff like that when you get into phase 2 and you have to dodge those erratic shots, those looping missiles, and you're stuck in the quicksand. You can't jump over them. It could be a problem. We've seen it be a problem, but
yeah,
not a problem today. Here we go, A3. This is one that Link was practicing quite a bit of. I don't know if he was trying to find a new route through the area Buzz is in right now, the second area, or if he was just trying to practice just getting through it altogether. Like I said, he was having some trouble in practice. And I don't know if it was new routing or if it was just, just bad practice, but
it's pretty late. I mean, these guys do play games late, but I mean, I'm kind of wondering if there's something else to explain why he's not performing quite how we think. Like that's very uncharacteristic there for Link to get hit by that snake and have to go back and remake that jump.
Now, I do need to point out that in past races, Link Sevens has pulled away from his opponent just based on routing and just movement altogether with no deaths on either side. So maybe he can do that against Buzz here and there, chip away at the lead, have a better boss fight. Buzz maybe, wasn't in that boss fight right there, but maybe he has a bad boss fight, and next thing you know, we're still side by side.
Anyone can still have a bad boss fight. Like, I mean, no one is calling this race already, but I think that Link just being a high-level player and just by outmaneuvering an opponent and getting a lead that way, I think that might have worked against BuzzThunder earlier in the tournament. But lately, he's been doing so much work to really bring his time down lower and lower. It's actually been impressive. Like, he was already good at this game, and then he got really, really good.
See Link finishing up the A zone of the game. He'll be moving on to B1. Buzz is about halfway through B1 now, so he's maintaining that half stage lead. One thing I never knew, Joshy, and I don't know if you know this answer either, are all the stages the same in length?
They don't feel like it. I mean, I'd be surprised if they were. But yeah, I don't actually know.
And another thing to point out is that while a death, it could be catastrophic for Buzz, as long as he's a stage ahead, he'll still be in the lead when he respawns. So Link has to be on the same screen as him as Buzz dies to be able to take advantage of that death, as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if either one of these guys actually took a death. I mean, but Link, we can't deny that he's plus 37 on his splits right now.
Well, he did take that death on the first boss.
Yeah,
but I assume you mean
one. Yeah.
Run a play. Buzz is going to tank the Peter Perfect here underneath. This is one of the boss battles I saw Link practicing. So Buzz is missing those shots when Peter Perfect goes high, in favor of getting a couple more when he's low. Let's see how this favors him. I'm gonna note the time on the bottom of the screen when it's done.
Yeah, this is a tricky fight. Like if you're reacting to his movements, you'll almost always be behind when he does when he switches screens or the sides of the screen like that. But Buzz and Link are definitely both players who've got this boss memorized, because every boss has predetermined attack patterns and operates in two phases. So they have the first phase and the second phase, but they're both always the same every time. So you can just memorize the bosses.
Yeah,
but I know that
you can get into a pattern where you do miss, especially this boss is one of them. You miss a couple, and then you're trying to chase them, and you just keep throwing the bombs behind them. Or you do that, you go to throw a bomb and then set yourself up for the next bomb, and the lag of the game makes you throw the bomb in the wrong direction. And you see Link Sevens gets out of that stage at 2:19, so Buzz actually gained 4 seconds in that fight alone.
Oh my goodness.
And that's assuming the timer reset once they got into the zone, which I think it did.
Yeah, the timer resets at the beginning of each stage.
Yeah.
So people might notice that when the bomb starts exploding, it looks like they're hitting the boss. The bomb misses the boss, but then the boss is actually taking damage, because when the bomb explodes, it stays active on the screen for a little while, which I think is why it's such a favored weapon. Is that you can throw bombs early and then just have that explosion waiting for the boss when they fall into it.
Yeah, certainly early or later, and getting them as soon as those invincibility frames wear off as well.
Yeah, so it lets you be a little bit less precise. It also lets you have another bomb loaded and ready to go, because there is a pretty long cooldown when Muttley throws a bomb before he can throw another bomb. So I think getting your attack out early will let you maximize your shots.
Oh, Buzz misses that shot, so I think he's going to have two more here. He tries to do the... the damage
boost.
He did get it. Wow.
He did it.
Yeah. So
I was wondering if we were going to see anyone use that task strat or that world record run strat of damage boosting to be able to hit that boss in the air. Otherwise, you have to wait for him.
I've tried a few times in practice. I just couldn't get the timing of it. But
I mean,
looks like somebody's been practicing.
Yeah.
See how Buzz does with this jump right here. One of the harder jumps in the game. Really, there's no devastating area, but I would say this stage gives people the most trouble because of these dragonflies and their positioning when you try to make jumps.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one jump that, like, if you forget that it's there, which was happening a lot early on, or if you just miss your bomb, you know, it's gonna send you back quite a ways. It's a really punishing jump if you miss it. But you're right that there's not many instances in the whole game where, you know, a single jump could cost you that much time. Like there's you know, it's not like Ninja Gaiden where the birds are always trying to knock you into the pits.
Yeah, I would say there's about maybe 3, 4 if you count the whale spots where precise jumps at the wrong time are devastating. But you know, you can overcome that. And see how Link does on the second half of this stage right there. That guy gives you a little bit of a problem. He handles it, and then there's this big jump here to another platform, and then a couple of small jumps for another dragonfly. He opts to do it a little bit differently than Buzz, but he gets through it all the same. And Penelope Pitstop is a problem for Buzz. I know you love her.
Oh, I mean, she's cute as hell. Really love the character. I hate this boss. I've been known to lose several lives in a row trying to fight her. Never figured it out. I was actually, you know, didn't have time to practice earlier, but I was doing kind of fake practice by watching runs, and I went to Buzz's, you know, VODs and watched him fight the boss to try to get some ideas because I knew that he'd worked hard on it.
Buzz gets out of a fight at 2:37. We'll see how Link does. Bosses are going to be right now primarily the place where Link is going to be able to save time. Link almost fell there. He hit his head on the ceiling and was able to hover out, but we'll see how he does on Penelope Pitstop.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like, unless Buzz misses like a cycle, you know, it is going to be tough for Link to make it up on a boss fight. I think it's going to take not just good play, but a mistake on Buzz's part.
And Link 7's was a second slower on the boss fight, so he loses another second there. It really is. We're not, you know, like you said before, we're not calling it, but it is in Buzz's hands right now to absolutely throw this one.
Yeah, it's his race to lose. I mean, I've definitely been in the lead on a race and then had a bad last stage, and then just had the lead completely changed. So it can happen.
You know what we're going to see for one of the last times ever?
Oh, what's that?
Going to see. Here it is, the dancing bear. All the ladies love him.
This stage has some like really fun enemies in it. It's pretty great. So this is, as you call it, Larry, an auto jumper.
Yes.
Every time you land on the clouds, your character is forced to jump. It makes planning your movements pretty tricky. I'm sure these guys are well used to it by now, and actually all of us in the tournament are, but it's pretty annoying to just... It's a game that controls pretty darn well, and to have that control taken away from you just seems cruel. Buzz is doing a cool strat here where he's not even getting onto the goddamn piece of ice that'll make you slide everywhere.
I gotta tell you, the difference between this run and Buzz's last run is that he's crushing bosses right now. Absolute perfect patterns, almost like, you know, 1 or 2 flaws, but, you know, he's not a robot. But since his last match with Dig Shake, you can tell he's definitely put the work in on the boss fights, and he's done so off stream.
Yeah, it's really showing. So Buzz is on this suburban stage, but like, what the hell are these pigs doing there? Like, that doesn't really feel like it fits in. It's a really strange choice.
My grandmother in Vero Beach, Florida, had a neighbor that had a pig.
Oh, okay.
Pigs are pets somewhere. You never seen people walking a pig down the street?
Well, you know, I have, but I mean, it just didn't seem like it would ring true for everyone. I suppose New York maybe doesn't have, or maybe this is Chicago. I'm not quite sure. I guess if it's gangsters, it's probably Chicago. And I don't know them to have rabbits on pogo sticks either.
I don't think the developers really went too far into the consideration of where exactly on the map they are.
They didn't get a lot of reference from the library.
Yeah, they're just like, we'll just draw lines
Chicago
through continents
nightlife.
and be like, hey, this is a route. Was going to take a little bit of a hit there. He's not going to. Oh, he is going to have. I'm sorry, I didn't see him get that last one.
So what's the name of these guys? This is the Anthill Mob.
I believe it is the Anthill Mob. I think it was one of the two characters in the show that had two different names depending on the region that the cartoon was in. They are the yeah. To me, they're the Anthill Mob.
Yeah, we've been doing very little to describe the lore to the viewers, but this is a Hanna-Barbera. It's based on a Hanna-Barbera cartoon show about cartoon characters racing across the globe in their crazy cars that are all kind of personalized to them. And we are Muttley with his owners, Dastardly?
Dick Dastardly, yeah.
Dick, yeah. And we're just trying to sabotage the other racers.
Yeah, we're playing as the bad guys, and then somehow when you beat the game, you lose. So I never really wanted to. I'm a wrestling fan, so it's not onto me to call out things that are inconsistent and don't make sense.
No, and I guess I don't have a leg to stand on either.
So I decided to lose that battle before I even started it. But Link 7's had a good boss fight there.
Yeah, I've personally seen him practice that boss a whole lot, like really trying to find the absolute best way to deal with it. So, you know, he's a guy who knows this game, and not to beat him up about it again, but that's what made it kind of shocking that he had such a rocky start. He's really tightened up since then. So I just wonder if he's the guy he's like Greg Valentine, who doesn't cool up or he doesn't warm up for the first 10 minutes of a match.
Yeah, the wrestling references continue. Did you ever own a shin pad and turn it backwards when you put someone in the figure four? Or not?
No.
Better weapon, the shin pad, the shin guard backwards, or Bob Orton's cast?
Well, I mean, I just got annoyed whenever I tried to figure four someone and they had a heartbreaker. Isn't that what they call it? Like when he had that like big plastic shin pad?
Yeah.
To defend against the figure four?
Yeah.
Okay, back to the race. We see Link jumping over these rolling boulders, which are a huge pain in the butt when you're first learning this game. Buzz is on to the final stage of the game with these freaking jumping stonehead things that they just chase you down. I have so much trouble with them. I don't know how people get good at dealing with them.
So I spent a lot of time practicing while I was waiting for my tires to get changed on my car, and that's how I was able to beat you guys in the plane race, because I had all that practice that morning. And I realized that, like, I'm not even going to try to fight them. I just found a pattern where I can avoid most of them, and then just kind of ran in that direction, and it worked so well for me.
I think I was having a lot of trouble early on because I didn't understand how easy the previous boss was, so I would almost always take a death there. So I would start that level short on bones, which meant I had to like waste a bunch of time running around, and then I would just get chased by the heads.
So Buzz almost made a little bit of a slip there. He kind of missed the jump, and then almost like did a double take backwards and fell because of it, but was able to just like calm down, and he's on track now. He's got only a few more jumps here. Cross this bridge, make a jump, cross another bridge, and make a jump that Dig Shake has died on. And he's on the final boss. Takes a little hesitation there for that trollfish, and here you go. Here's the final boss.
Yeah, this guy was giving me a whole bunch of trouble until I realized that there's safe spots that you can stand in to avoid his club that he throws in the second phase. Although I have died on him a lot when I can't find the spot to stand in. But it is a pretty easy pattern to either duck or jump, depending on, or I guess you can just stand where it kind of arcs over you. Buzz is going to have absolutely no trouble with this boss. Looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's not choking me. I like it. He's not going to die there.
2012. Look at that.
Yeah, 2013 on the official timer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna let you handle the post-match interview so I can get ready for my race with Coach Crab. Coach Crab, I'm gonna play bass licks on your grave. So we'll see you later.
Good luck, Josh. I'll talk to you after the match.
Bye-bye.
There you have it. BuzzThunder is your champion shit winner, defeating Link Sevens. Link Sevens had that early death in stage 1, missed a few jumps as well prior to that death, and the difference maker was right there in the race. Buzz had a few better boss fights than Link Sevens did as well. Talking about seconds. But Link will still put up a respectable time here. And there it is, 21-13 on SRL. See if we can get the runners in here and talk about this race. But just a reminder that coming up next is the Ultimate Loser match. The 1 in 4, 1 in 5? Do we count the plane race? 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4, Joshy D is taking on the 0 and 4 Coach Crab. It's actually a rematch of actually Coach Crab won. I'm sorry, 1 and 4 Coach Crab, because he beat Joshy D in the round. Buzz, congratulations, man. Good game. Take us through it.
Thank you very much. It was, yeah, I mean, I felt it was good. I mean, I killed a lot of the bosses very quickly, and I only made a couple of little mistakes. But yeah, I mean, it was mostly clean.
A couple jumping blunders, but I noticed between this race and the race you had with Dig Shake, a lot of difference in your boss battles.
Yeah, I definitely improved on a couple of them, especially the Crimson Hay Baler. I have that pattern completely down. Also the race car, I forget his name, but I tried to do the damage tanking strategies on him, which usually is a lot faster, but I ended up being slower than I normally do on that one.
So I noticed that,
yeah.
And I took your time out of that race and compared it to the time Link Sevens took out of that fight, and you actually did do it like 3 or 4 seconds faster than Link did.
Yeah, and that was a bad one too. So if I did that correctly, that probably would have been like 5 seconds faster than what I did. So
yeah, what happened?
Hey, Buzz, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Link. Good race.
Link, good game. You had a little trouble early. Why don't you take us through that?
Yeah, I did the first stage, like, I don't know what, the 3rd or 4th jump in the game or something. I must have jumped early and then missed a rooftop. And then, got hit, had to climb back up. A bunch of weird stuff happened. So that kind of tilted me a little early. Overall, I think I probably lost like 30, 35 seconds on that.
And including the death on the first boss.
Yeah, that's true. The death on the first boss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was after having collected some extra bones and probably had more health than normal there, and then I still died on the first boss, so that was very strange.
You had an odd reaction to the death. Did you think that you had more health than you had at that time and you weren't paying attention?
I think it just was, I was in tilt mode and just like was not recognizing the boss pattern, not doing the strat correctly, and just damage boosting through the entire pattern, which is just too much. So yeah, it's so weird to die on that boss. I mean, it's not the easiest boss in the game, really, but at the same time, I've done enough runs probably that's...
I noticed in practice you were doing a few stages with a little bit of a problem. Were you having problems in practice, or were you just trying to find alternative ways to save some time in spots you feel like you were slow?
There were just a couple spots that I knew I hadn't practiced a lot. I like, okay, let's practice a level and just whatever doesn't go well, practice that a little more. And I think I actually did some sections and some bosses better, and I had a few gold splits because of that. So I actually did fight back a ways, but I mean, if I look at improvements, time lost, at best, I was probably going to get like a 20-30 out of that or something like that. So even with a clean run, I think Buzz still would have had it.
Yeah, Buzz crushed it and crushed it on bosses. Buzz, how much time did you put into practicing between Dig Shake's race and this race? And you didn't do that on stream, right?
No, I didn't. I really didn't do a ton because I was away this weekend. So, but just a few full runs and then practicing a couple of the bosses, really. But yeah, I mean, it's not really. You really just need to learn the pattern on a couple of those bosses, and it can really save a lot of extra time. It's just kind of a little tedious memorization and doing it a few times. But yeah, that was I can't. It was just a great run. That was definitely a PB by about 13 seconds for me there. And now I'm starting to think that I could do a sub 20 if I actually can throw everything together.
There was a couple seconds there where I thought you might have done sub 20. Then I realized that the boss takes a little while to go into the second stage, and it really wasn't possible.
Yeah, I think I just made a couple of mistakes early on that kind of put that out of reach. But yeah, I think all of my C stages were just about perfect. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm happy about the spoils, the spoils of victory as well.
There are spoils. You are going to go on. Both of you guys have a chance. Well, you guys already nominated your game for next month, which is actually this month, which we're going to spill over into August. Dig Shake and I are working out a date range because of all the different tournaments and events that are coming up that are going to take people's time away. So it's probably going to be that season is probably going to be the second half of July, spilling on into at least part of August, or just until the end of August and just catch up, and then we'll do month by month after that. But you also have the opportunity now to decide what game the ultimate loser will play on their 1 hour humiliation stream.
That is correct. I've got a couple things in mind. It kind of depends on who the loser is, but yeah, I've got ideas.
Do both of you guys want to stay here and commentate?
Yeah, if you'll have me, I'd love to.
Link, what about you?
Thinking I might just watch.
Okay.
Maybe 3's a crowd, so I'll just hang out and watch the restream.
Yeah, no problem. And good game. After having that little fault in the beginning, you did actually really crush the rest of that, like you said, with the gold splits and everything. Are you either of you guys? One last question before we move on to this other one. Either of you guys going to be playing this game and trying to set a better time, maybe to submit, or are you guys going to wash your hands of this one and go right into whatever comes up next?
I might try to get a sub 20 and submit it. Because yeah, I think I could do it. It wouldn't really take me that much practice to get it. So I think I would like to do that. And I don't know where that would put me on the leaderboard, but I when we race these games, I think it's cool to actually submit a time. Then you just have a lot of stats on speedrun.com. It's kind of fun.
And Link, what about you?
Yeah, I think I will probably not continue to run this game. I'll submit for sure the PB I had, which was the semifinal race. I'll submit that for sure, but I have other stuff on my list that I want to work on and move on to, so I think I'm going to call it quits for this one. I do think it was a really great pick, though. It was a really good game.